Transatlantic slave trade was a heinous crime and now recognized as a crime against humanity under international law and a breach, a gross violation of many human rights conventions and an affront to humanity and the human dignity of millions and millions of people who were largely of African descent, taken from the motherland and transported all over the world, but predominantly in the Caribbean, North America, South America, and some other parts, the Middle East. In the current public discourse, there are growing calls, international calls, for reparations. And reparations in this case does not necessarily mean monetary quantum per se, but it could be a combination of enacting policies, measures, and other structural changes to make sure that in the areas of day-to-day lives of the intergenerational detrimental impact of those people who are impacted by the legacies of transatlantic slave trade, is that there's a modicum of mitigation that addresses those issues. And I'm talking broadly in day-to-day areas such as access to training, gainful employment, and which that then leads to other gateways into life chances such as in housing, health, the overrepresentation of the community system, and so on and so forth. And so, given that this is a recognition against crime against humanity that went on for almost 400 years, where millions and millions of people were enslaved, mass kidnapped, and mass killed, I think it is just fitting that it is addressed at a more serious level. There have been apologies, there have been acknowledgements of regret, but I think given that it impacts people's lives on a day-to-day level, intergenerational detrimental impact, I think reparations as a package, as a combination of policies, measures, reforms is the right approach, both in terms of justice, sincerity, and in terms of legal terms, given that it is a recognition of crimes against humanity. And that's this short educational information video is to try to share knowledge, have a discussion, raise barriers, break barriers, and bring people together by addressing what is clearly a grave injustice that went on for far too long. Thank you.
What is needed are tangible steps to remedy the descendants of this crime against humanity.
The transatlantic trade was a crime against humanity as currently characterized by the United Nations. This happened for almost 4 centuries, in which there was mass kidnapping, mass murder, mass torture, and the use of enslaved free labor of people of African descent who were transported across the Atlantic and other oceans to many parts of the world, including, but not exclusively, South America, North America, the Middle East, and other parts of Europe. Since then, the descendants of those who were mass kidnapped and made to work for free for centuries, in addition to other heinous crimes against humanity, have suffered the intergenerational impact, the detrimental impact, which is manifested in a number of ways that is reflected in failures in life chances, such as housing issues, crime rate in terms of mass incarceration, over sentencing, education attainments, and and many other forms. And so there are growing calls, global growing calls for this crime against humanity to be corrected in various forms as stipulated and briefly in this article. We've had countries apologize, such as the Netherlands. Others have simply shown regret, but there has never been a reparation or even an acknowledgement, a genuine acknowledgement of the crimes against humanity committed against people of African descent. So this is what this short explanatory video for information and education purposes is seeking to achieve, and it is in that spirit. Thank you and have a good listen. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Today, it is widely understood that slavery violates fundamental human rights, including the right to freedom, dignity, and equality. International treaties, such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, explicitly prohibit slavery and the slave trade. Beyond apologies, reparations are long overdue. Reparations, in this context, refer to measures taken to compensate for the harm inflicted by slavery and its legacies.